Welcome to the podcast where we talk about dinosaurs like they're your problematic ex who keep showing up in your Instagram stories. I'm your host, and today we're discussing the Tyrannosaurus Rex, the dinosaur equivalent of that guy who peaked in high school but somehow everyone still talks about at the reunion. You know T-Rex. You've seen it in movies, on your nephew's pajamas, and probably tattooed on someone who describes themselves as an alpha. But here's the thing. You don't actually know T-Rex. You know Hollywood's version, which is basically the dinosaur equivalent of thinking all hackers wear hoodies and type really fast in green text. So buckle up, because for the next 15 minutes, you're going to become T-Rex. Not metaphorically, not spiritually, we're literally putting you in those tiny arms and making you deal with 66 million years of bad press. Ready? No? Perfect. Let's go. Okay, so you're a T-Rex now. Don't ask how. Maybe you touched a cursed fossil at the museum. Maybe you said, "I wish I were a T-Rex," too confidently. Maybe the simulation just glitched. Doesn't matter. First thing you notice, your arms. Oh, you're already making the joke. Haha, tiny arms can't reach, can't do push-ups, can't even high-five. Yeah. Comedy gold, truly revolutionary stuff. Except here's what nobody tells you. You don't need them. Your arms are like the appendix of the dinosaur world. They're there, they work, but you're not writing your dissertation with them. Each arm could bench press about 400 pounds. That's 180 kilograms for the metric gang. That's more than you could do before you became a dinosaur, Kevin. But here's the absurd part. Scientists genuinely debated what T-Rex used its arms for. The theories ranged from mating, kinky, to helping them stand up, adorable, to absolutely nothing, relatable. The current leading theory? Grabbing prey while also biting. You know, like using chopsticks while also using a fork. Overkill, but effective. Your head is a biological sledgehammer. Now let's talk about your actual weapon, your skull. Imagine your head is a mid-2000s Nokia phone, but instead of being indestructible, it's also a hydraulic press. Your bite force? 12,800 pounds of pressure. For context, that's enough to crush a car, a whole car. You could bite through a Cybertruck, though honestly, so could a strong opinion. Your teeth aren't just big, they're different sizes for different jobs. The front teeth are like precision tools for gripping. The back teeth are like steak knives designed by someone with anger issues. It's like having a Swiss Army knife, except the knife is also your face. Oh, and your jaw? It can flex and absorb shock like a biological suspension system. You're basically driving a Mercedes, except you are the Mercedes and also you eat other cars. You can smell feelings. Here's where it gets weird. Your sense of smell is absurdly overpowered. The olfactory bulb in your brain, the smell processing center, is massive, bigger than most of your other brain parts. You can smell a dead triceratops from miles away. You can smell fear. You can probably smell that your neighbor 2 territories over is making dinner. This is like having a superpower, except the superpower is knowing when someone microwaved fish in the office kitchen from 3 blocks away. Useful? Yes. Annoying? Also yes. You couldn't see things that don't move. Jurassic Park lied to you. Remember that scene? Don't move, his vision is based on movement. Wrong. So wrong. Wronger than thinking reply all is ever a good idea. Your eyesight is incredible, better than a hawk's. You can see up to 6 kilometers away in detail. You have forward-facing eyes like a predator, which means you have depth perception. You're basically a sniper rifle with legs. The movement-based vision thing came from a scientist in the 1960s who was, let's say, creative with his interpretations. Spielberg ran with it because it made for good cinema. But in reality, if you stood still in front of a T-Rex, congratulations, you just made yourself an easier target. You're basically the tutorial level. Number 2, you roared like Godzilla. Sorry to disappoint, but you probably didn't sound like a heavy metal concert. modern research suggests you made sounds more like a crocodile mixed with a cassowary mixed with someone's garbage disposal. Deep, resonant, maybe some closed-mouth rumbling that you could feel in your chest from a distance. Imagine standing near a subwoofer at a concert, except the subwoofer is alive and wants to eat you. That's the vibe. No dramatic roars, more like ominous bass drops. You're not the soundtrack to an action movie, you're the soundtrack to a horror movie directed by someone who really understands dread. You were a slow, lumbering idiot. Let's address the elephant in the room, or rather, the 9-ton apex predator in the room. You weigh as much as an elephant, but you're not slow. You can run, or at least power walk aggressively, at about 27 kilometers per hour, 17 miles per hour. That's not Olympic sprinter fast, but it's faster than you carrying groceries in flip-flops fast. Plus, you don't need to be fast. You're an ambush predator. You're the dinosaur equivalent of a camping sniper in Call of Duty. Annoying? Yes. Effective? Devastatingly. And your intelligence? You're not a bird brain, despite literally being related to birds. Your brain-to-body ratio suggests you were pretty smart, maybe crow level. You could problem solve, plan, possibly hold grudges. You're the velociraptor's intimidating older sibling who actually has their life together. So what's your daily schedule look like? You wake up, wherever T-Rexes sleep, we'll get to that. You're hungry. You're always hungry. You need about 40,000 calories a day. That's like eating 160 Big Macs daily. You sniff the air, there's a dead Edmontosaurus about 2 kilometers away. Score! You didn't even have to work for it. You're basically doing Uber Eats, except you are the Uber and also you eat the driver. You walk over, and yes, you walk most places, because running is for emergencies and you have a reputation to maintain. You arrive. Another T-Rex is already there. Now, here's the thing about being a T-Rex. You're not a team player. You're territorial, aggressive, and you definitely don't believe in sharing economy principles. So what do? You could fight, but fighting is risky. Even apex predators can get injured, and a broken leg is basically a death sentence when you're 9 tons and your healthcare system is nature. Instead, you do the dinosaur equivalent of a stare down. You make low-frequency sounds. You posture aggressively. Whoever's smaller or less confident backs off. It's like Twitter arguments, except with actual stakes. You win. You eat. Life is good. The social life you didn't know you had. Here's a fun fact that'll break your brain. T-Rexes might have been social. Not let's have brunch social. More like I'll tolerate your presence if there's enough food for both of us social. Fossil evidence shows multiple T-Rexes died together in some sites. Either they were hunting cooperatively or they all died coincidentally in the same place, which seems statistically suspicious. Imagine being a triceratops minding your own business and then seeing 3 T-Rexes working together. That's like getting jumped by a gang of Zambonis. Terrifying and oddly coordinated. Your love life is complicated. Okay, we need to talk about T-Rex romance because it's deeply weird. Sexual dimorphism, size differences between males and females, might have been a thing. Some scientists think females were bigger, which honestly tracks. But here's the problem. We only have about 50 good T-Rex specimens, globally, ever. That's like trying to understand all of human culture from 50 people at a Costco on a Tuesday. Mating probably involved a lot of posturing, vocalizations, and those tiny arms we joked about earlier. Maybe they were used for stabilization? Nobody wants to think about it too hard. It's the dinosaur equivalent of, how do porcupines? We know it happens, we just don't want the details. The asteroid, the ultimate plot twist. So, you've lived a good life. You're an apex predator. Nothing can stop you. And then a rock from space says bet. The Chicxulub asteroid hit the Yucatan Peninsula with the energy of 10 billion Hiroshima bombs. The sky caught fire, the shockwaves circled the Earth, tsunamis taller than skyscrapers swept across continents. You didn't get hit by the asteroid directly, probably, but the aftermath? Imagine the worst combination of nuclear winter, global wildfires, acid rain, and your Wi-Fi going out. Forever. Within a few thousand years, you're gone. All of you. Every T-Rex, every Triceratops, every giant pterosaur. The reign of the dinosaurs ends not with a roar, but with a thud and then silence. But your cousins survived. Here's the twist. Birds are dinosaurs. Not related to dinosaurs, they are dinosaurs. That chicken you ate for dinner? Closer relative to a T-Rex was to a Stegosaurus. Time is weird like that. So, in a way, you didn't go extinct. You just got really into flying and became significantly less intimidating. You went from apex predator to thing that poops on cars. That's either inspiring or deeply depressing, depending on your perspective.